Draupadi's 5 husbands were 5 Mahapurushas. But when she was brought to the assembly of the Kauravas, and Dushasan said, "All right, now careful." Draupadi looked at Yudhishthir, "What will he do of mine?" Yudhishthir put his head down. He had lost in gambling. She looked at Bhimsen. He put his head down. Arjun, they all put their heads down. Draupadi said, this support turned out to be useless. There were big dharmacharyas there. They were also silent. And now Draupadi realized she is shelterless. So she lifted her arms and screamed, "Govinda Dwarkavasin!" Sa taya shraddhaya yuktaha tasya radhanamihate labhate cha tatah kaman manyaiva vihitan hitan. Endowed with faith, the devotee worships a particular celestial god and obtains the objects of desire. But in reality, I alone arrange these benefits. So the devotee thinks, I worshipped Santoshi Mata and I got this boon from her. The devotee doesn't realize that Santoshi Mata, what power does she have? Any power she has is coming from the supreme power. So the devatas themselves are niravalamb. Everybody is niravalamb except for the one Bhagavan. That lesson we need to learn. We put our trust in different things. You put your trust, I am so healthy, I have got my bank balance, I've got my health insurance, and I've got this 401k, and I'm all protected. And then life throws a bouncer and you realize that, none of the protection came to any use. Right? So the real faith has to be upon that one. It was the lesson that Draupadi learned. Draupadi's entire trust was, I've got 5 husbands. Now I have one wife, her husband is a big man, a governor, senator, and she has this, smugness. Speak to me properly, don't you know I'm the senator's wife? So Draupadi's 5 husbands were 5 Mahapurushas. But when she was brought to the assembly of the Kauravas, and Dushasan said, "All right, now careful." Draupadi looked at Yudhishthir, "What will he do of mine?" Yudhishthir put his head down. He had lost in gambling. She looked at Bhimsen. He put his head down. Arjun, they all put their heads down. Draupadi said, this support turned out to be useless. There were big dharmacharyas there. Bhishma, Vidur, Kripacharya, Dronacharya. She said, they can assist me. They were also silent. Draupadi said, nobody is mine in this world. What the Mahatmas were saying is correct. So she said, I can do something. She put that cheer in her mouth. Draupadi also had great power. She is considered one of the Panch Kanyas. Even though she was married, from within she was a maiden. So she had this power. And she put the cheer in her mouth, but she's kind of started remembering Sri Krishna, "Hey Bhagavan, tera asara." But her support, she did not internally believe that it's Sri Krishna's protection I need. When I've got my 401k, then why do I need Sri Krishna's protection? So, what could Draupadi's power do? Because Dushasan had the power of elephants in him. And if Draupadi also had the power of elephants, a cloth did not have that strength. The cloth would have given way. So finally when he tugged, the cheer slipped. And now Draupadi realized she is shelterless. So she lifted her arms and screamed, Govind Dwarkavasin. Immediately, the Ambar avatar took place. Just a few moments ago, Sri Krishna, he was sitting with Rukmini and having his meal, and all of a sudden he stopped. And Rukmini said, Sri Krishna, what happened? Is there some pebble in your food? Why is this? You are Leela Dhari, is this some new kind of Leela? Sri Krishna said, it's a serious matter on Draupadi. So Rukmini said, go and help. Sri Krishna said, I have my rules. Even God operates with the rules. If you are not surrendered, you are under the rule of karma. Jo jas karai so tas phalu chak. When you are surrendered, you are under the law of grace. So now the grace intervenes. So when Draupadi surrendered, Sri Krishna immediately, he took avatar as Ambar avatar in the form of a cloth. And he just kept on draping and draping Draupadi, and Dushasan kept on pulling and pulling. He says ki sari hai ki nari hai ki sari bich nari hai ki nari bich sari hai. Which mill has this cloth come from? This is the mills of God. This is not going to end now. Poor Dushasan, he started sweating and he fainted there. But he was not able to remove the cloth. Later on, she accosted Sri Krishna. When she met Sri Krishna, said, I need to ask you a question in private. Like some people, they come to me. Swamiji, I cannot ask in public, I need to ask in private. Draupadi said, Sri Krishna, this is a private question. Sri Krishna said, all right. What is it? Maharaj, you knew I was in trouble. Why did you take so much of time? Sri Krishna said, Draupadi, you called and I responded. Are Maharaj, I called, I was counting the microseconds after that. In your response, there was just a couple of seconds delay. If there had been a couple of more seconds, it would have been too late. Sri Krishna said, Draupadi, your call was wrong. You said, Govind Dwarkavasin, oh Sri Krishna who's in Dwarka, come and help me. I was sitting inside your heart. Now you call like that, then I had to go running all the way to Dwarka and come back running. Because God's rule is, ye yathā prapadyante tāṁs tathaiva bhajāmy aham. As you surrender to me, I shall reciprocate accordingly. So this was, of course, a humorous matter, but the principle is highlighted that surrender means that you do everything from the outside. You get your health insurance, everything, but internally you have faith. Your faith is only in the grace of God. Rakhe Krishna, mare ke. When Krishna protects you, who can kill you? And mare Krishna, rakhe ke. If Krishna decides off, who in this world can protect you? So these devatas, whatever, you respect everyone. But internally you realize the Devata's bal is coming from Bhagavan. That's what he is saying himself, that people think it is the Devatas who are giving the boon, but actually, Arjun, it is me. Like once Farid was a Sufi saint. He went to Badshah Akbar. Akbar was powerful, the grandson of Babur, the Mughal Raj. So he had a huge empire. And Farid was a fakir. He went there. And the servant said that Akbar is praying to Allah, in the room out there. So you please wait. Then after half an hour, they say, he's not finished praying, you please wait. Then after 1 hour, he's still not finished praying, you please wait. Farid said, my God, this is stretching too far. He went and peeped that what is Akbar doing? And Akbar was praying to Allah, hey Allah, let my barn house be full with 100,000 horses, and let my Goshala be full with 1 million cows, and let my army be like this, and let this be like that. So Farid looked and came back and sat, and Akbar finished his prayer and came. He said to the sage, Kahiye, why have you come? Farid said, no, just walking around. No, there must be some reason. No, it's all right. You must be wanting something. Sage has come to a king. Farid said, I came, I wanted you to do marammat, the renovations of my ashram, but I saw that you yourself are a beggar. So then I said, why not I go and beg to God itself? So he is the source, right? So Sri Krishna says, whatever these devatas are giving, I am the source of it all, Arjun.